or remember, the first thing you need to do, isolate your absolute value. That has to get isolated before you separate. So you isolate your absolute value, then you do your positive root, leave it the same, do your negative root, and solve. Put it on your number line. This is set notation. This is probably what you were used to doing. Put it on your number line. Interval notation is what I'm looking for in the end. Good. This one's an and since it's already set up, it's already isolated, and there's no x on the right side, drop it down and build your and statement. You can still separate it into two, and then build it at the end. The one thing that happens here when you divide by a negative is the signs all switch. And the signs are switching like this. That's right. You're going to have to reorder this to go like your number line goes. That's why your number line is helpful. From -2 to +3, you'll see it. It has to go this way. Your inequality has to be written that way, in set notation. Interval notation, we bypass having to worry about that. We just drop the ends, and you can get them a little bit faster. Interval notation I think, is easier than set notation. Be careful when you divide by a negative, because you're going to have to switch your sign. Okay? And I think you only had 2 more, right? Yep. The first one, isolate your absolute value. It is. Bring it to the positive, bring it to the negative. Now, get rid of that fraction. Multiply each term by 2. You cannot cross multiply in an inequality. You have to multiply each term by 2. No cross multiplying. So out comes the 2, and 2 times -5 gives me -10. You took the 2 out of your denominator, so you do not have to multiply the numerator by 2. You took it out of your denominator. That was your factor. So nice, easy problem. Set it, solve it, work that part. Same thing here. Multiply both of these by 2. Take them out. There's your set notation. Put it on your number line. They're closed. So, -infinity to -7, or 13 to infinity. There's our interval notation. Good. Number 36, make sure you isolate your absolute value. Divide by the 3 in front of it. Don't distribute it into that absolute value. Divide it. Divide by 3, and then do the easy way. Set it up as an absolute value. When you divide by 3, this one comes out. Drop this down, bring this over here, and set it up with the negative, and solve it at the same time. Again, when you multiply or divide by a negative, flip the sign. And then you're going to have to reorder it again. You're going to have to set it from lowest to highest. And again, it works out much easier if you use your number line, because you know 1/5 is before 7/5. So my number line gives me 1/5, 7/5. Just leave them as fractions. Oops, sorry about that. Here's filled in. Just leave them as fractions. Is everybody okay with the dividing by the negative? Right, and you have to flip the signs around. Okay. Not too bad, right? And I think that was it. Oh, these guys. Remember your formula. Find your midpoint. Find your midpoint and the distance from your midpoint to the endpoint. Those are the only 2 pieces you need to find. So here's my midpoint, 0. So x minus my 0 is, and this is an and statement, and hard bracket, less than or equal to. And the distance from here to here, always positive, 3. And then you can just take that 0 out of there. Are you okay with these? Midpoints, finding the distance. Which one? Second one? Okay. Find the midpoint. 4 plus 10 is 14 divided by 2, 7. This is an or statement, so it's going to be greater than something because these are open. So I'm going to have x minus my midpoint greater than the distance here, 3. It's as simple as that. The and, here's your midpoint, add them together and divide. This will give you negative 4, divided gives you negative 2. When you do this, x minus a negative 2, that becomes x plus 2. It's an and, so it's a less than, and from here to here is 5. Okay? Now Monday, since we